Wow, I just get fired up every time I see that intro. Well, welcome everyone. My name is BJ Haddad, and along with Jess Ebel, Paulette Wilkinson, and Tony Barone, I'd like to introduce you to the latest, and might I add greatest, game to date that Team Alias has ever designed. We believe this game is nothing short of revolutionary. It was inspired by Cabrillo, which as you might recall was a classroom-based computer game meant to supplement field trips. However, our game takes students out of the classroom and provides them with a personalized educational environment which allows for full educational immersion while on the field trip. It provides them with the tools and motivation to fully explore and interact with the objects they're seeing right in front of them in real time. We're calling our game The Search for the Jade Jaguar, and it's really part of a trilogy of games that we've constructed for the Museum of Man in Balboa Park that we're calling Mysteries at the Museum of Man. In this presentation, we'll show you a brief introduction to the problems inherent in the way classroom field trips are currently run. Jess will provide a walkthrough of the game's structure and how it's played. Paulette will explain the game's motivational importance, and Tony will focus on how this appeals to 21st century learners and the game's educational value. I really hope you enjoy our presentation.
Students typically are very motivated to go on field trips, so much so that teachers use them as rewards for good classroom behavior. However, once on the field trip, students' motivation often plummets. Why? Because traditionally, field trips are accompanied by the dreaded work packet, which students must complete while on the field trip. Suddenly, an exciting and different day, one that was filled with educational opportunity, has become dull. The business-as-usual worksheets, familiar and boring, kill motivation. The students race to locate the answers, perhaps with hopes that they will be rewarded with something fun if they somehow manage to finish as quickly as possible. This scenario is unfortunate for all involved. For the students who barely remember what they saw, heard, and learned, for the teachers who are discouraged by the students' lack of engagement, and for other museum goers whose museum experience is diminished by the stampede of worksheet-wielding students.
Let's take a look at our game from the player's perspective. Imagine you're a 7th grade student arriving at the Museum of Man in Balboa Park for a field trip. You're excited to view the exhibits, but are not looking forward to a day filled with worksheets. To your surprise, your teacher hands you a Samsung Galaxy Tab and headphones instead. All he says is, "You're in the Jaguar group. Enjoy your game." You wonder what he is talking about as you enter your name into the tablet. Then the first video launches and explains that for the next few hours you will play the role of Colorado Johnson, a world-famous explorer. As you play Mysteries at the museum, you must complete each of 3 exciting missions that will have you traveling to exotic locations all around the world. As you look at the main menu, you finally understand what your teacher meant when he said Jaguar Group. You select the Search for the Jade Jaguar and walk toward the exhibit in front of you. As you admire the statues, a second video launches that gives you all of the details about your first mission. You are deep in the jungle, searching for an ancient Maya relic, the Jade Jaguar. Legend states that there is a codex, an ancient bound manuscript, hidden inside of this intricately carved statue. Archaeologists believe that the codex could hold the key to many secrets of the lost Maya civilization. The Jaguar is located in one of 4 Maya temples. To find it, you must solve the puzzles that await you inside of each temple. At the end of each level, you will discover a piece to an ancient map hidden in a wall carving. Take a rubbing of the map and place it in your journal. The only way to win the game is to collect all 4 pieces. When the green Jaguar glyph appears on the map, it will reveal the secret location. You must find the Jade Jaguar and, if the legend proves true, the codex, before Diego Nacon, the terrible temple robber. After the video, the game provides a brief tutorial about the interface. Click on the camera to take a picture of the QR code. This function allows you to complete the challenges in any order. Clicking on the map shows you which temples you have unlocked and where you are now. The points feature keeps track of all the points you've gained or lost throughout the game. You might even win a coveted spot on the leaderboard for the whole class to see. The backpack is where you keep track of all the valuables you've collected. Objects might include quetzal feathers, cacao beans, obsidian, jade beads, and most importantly, your journal and pieces of the map. If you get stuck, the research button gives you hints. Now that you know how to play, let's hop aboard the biplane and fly over Guatemala. Here you will see a satellite image of your first temple, Quirigua. This is a photo of an actual display at the Museum of Man. The game prompts you to scan any QR code to begin a challenge. The game offers a variety of different puzzles, such as drag and drops, simulations, respond and checks, story completions, jumbled glyph pictures, spinner puzzles, drawing challenges, and matching games. Please enjoy the music as we demonstrate the kinds of puzzles you will encounter during your search for the Jade Jaguar. Each time you complete all of the puzzles in one temple, your reward will be a video that leads you along to the next temple. In these videos, your character might raft through some rapids, be chased by hostile natives, jump from the top of a huge waterfall, explore the bottom of a cenote, bravely cross a decaying rope bridge, or even discover an underground cave. But in the end, you do collect rubbings for all 4 pieces of the map. You finally know where the statue of the Jade Jaguar has been hiding. But suddenly, out of nowhere, Diego Nacon appears. He demands that you give him the name of the secret location. You run for it, barely escaping, but in your haste, you accidentally drop your backpack, leaving your precious journal and rubbings behind. Without a moment to lose, you jump in your plane and race to the final temple. You bound up the stairs, taking them 4 at a time, and finally reach the entrance at the very top, exhausted. After miraculously making your way through a series of booby traps, you finally enter the last room. There, you see the Jaguar on the altar before you. At last! But wait! Diego arrives at that very moment. You both lunge for the statue. And do you want to know what happens next? Is Diego Nacon a friend or a foe? Will you find the legendary codex inside the statue? If so, what will it say? Join us next summer at the Museum of Man to find out for yourself.
The search for the Jade Jaguar was created to be intrinsically motivating. According to Malone and Lepper, motivation increases when an activity is presented as a game rather than a drill. In addition, this game is motivating because it has an explicit goal, that is, to find the Jade Jaguar, making it likely that students will want to play this game. First and foremost is the essential experience. Players are immersed in the Mesoamerican jungle by playing in the first-person perspective while surrounded by sound and visually stimulating photorealistic visuals. Looking at this game through Shell's lenses, you'll find the lens of surprise, the lens of fun, the lens of flow, the lens of the puzzle, the lens of the story, and many more. Other factors that will motivate the students include the use of curiosity, control, challenge, and fantasy.
Learning in the 21st century. The Search for the Jade Jaguar is an interactive game that will engage and excite students as they explore the Maya exhibit at the Museum of Man in San Diego's Balboa Park. This game is designed for 7th grade students studying Mesoamerican and Andean civilizations and is directly linked to the California World History Standards for this grade level. This game will encourage students to activate their prior knowledge of the Maya civilization. The educational needs and learning styles of today's students have been dramatically impacted by today's digital world. In order to ensure that our students are prepared for the challenges of the future, 21st century teachers must adapt educational delivery to inspire our students to become creative problem solvers and intellectual risk takers. They must provide engaging learning experiences to today's 21st century students whose learning style is experiential, self-directed, and interactive. Teachers must create learning environments that are as engaging and relevant as those that students experience outside of a traditional learning experience. Students today are also very comfortable with technology. Our students have interacted with computers, cell phones, video games, and the internet their whole lives. Current research suggests that the brains of this digital generation have adapted both physically and chemically, causing them to process information differently than earlier generations. Dr. Seymour Papert, an MIT professor, writes, "The reason most kids don't like school is not that the work is too hard, but that it is utterly boring." We know that students learn best when they're engaged in their learning. Therefore, our goal was to create a game that would not only be engaging for students, but most of all, fun.
Well, we all hope you're as excited about this game as we are. When it comes time to cast your vote, we have a few things we'd like you to consider. First, we've dreamed big when it comes to the design of this game. We've already started designing games for the other two permanent exhibits at the Museum of Man. They're the Legend of the Lost Queen for their Ancient Egypt exhibit, and the Voyage of the Beagle for their exhibit on evolution. It doesn't stop there. Balboa Park is home to 15 major museums, as well as the San Diego Zoo and countless gardens and cultural attractions. Our vision is to take these games park-wide and tie them all together into one big, massively multiplayer educational game that would be available to download from many different portable devices. Finally, a vote for Team Alias is more than just a vote of confidence in our game. It's a vote for an entire new genre of games. I mean, imagine visiting the Colosseum in Rome and being able to play a game that teaches you about the history and pageantry of that place and time, all with the other people around you. Or seeing the Great Pyramid in Giza and becoming part of an experience that draws you into the mystery and culture of the great pharaohs. Given the time, resources, and above all your vote, we can do all of these things and change for the better what it means to go on a field trip or experience a historical venue. On behalf of the rest of Team Alias, Jess Ebel, Paulette Wilkinson, Tony Barone, I'm BJ Haddad. Thanks for watching our presentation.